Now at 9, authorities name the Miami suspect shot by officers in Sunday's confrontation.
Jasper County's birth rate is beating out both state and national averages. I'm Samantha Walker, and coming up, we'll take a look at why that may be the case.
In Joplin, Foster Adopt Connect celebrates 25 years. I'm Kenny Foreman, and I'll have more on that coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
The FBI identifies the man killed by a federal agent Sunday in Miami on Sunday. And this is KOAM News. I'm Tanya Bach. The shooting victim is 37-year-old Cody Ryan Mayfield of Miami. The FBI is now leading the investigation due to the tribal enrollment status of one of the parties involved. The incident began Sunday morning when Mayfield crashed his vehicle into a motorcycle. He then got into an altercation with the biker and shot him before fleeing. The motorcyclist suffered non-life-threatening injuries and drove himself to a hospital. Officers found Mayfield's vehicle 3 blocks away at a residence where he lived. Investigators say Mayfield came outside with a gun to his head, threatening suicide and ignoring verbal commands. He then pointed his gun at officers and exchanged gunfire. Mayfield died from his injuries at a hospital. The USBI is also assisting the FBI, and the U.S. Attorney's Office will decide whether to prosecute or decline charges. Troopers say dense fog contributed to a rollover crash in Jasper County this morning. The crash happened around 5:45 at Baseline Boulevard and County Road 210. Missouri State Highway Patrol says a female driver traveling south went through the intersection at highway speed into the trees. Her vehicle came to a rest tangled in a homeowner's fence. The driver was taken to an area hospital by private vehicle. Well, Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty joins us now with a first look at weather.
Yeah, and it turned out to be a decent day for us today, but we did have that fog during the morning hours, and we are going to see that once again as we go through the overnight hours for us tonight. So we're going to watch out for that. Right now we have clear skies, so nothing is going on, and it's going to be nice and quiet, minus some patchy fog. But our temperatures, look at this. I mean, they're going to be pretty comfortable. We're going to drop back 56, 57 degrees. You can actually open the windows. Any fog we do have out there in the morning burns off real quickly. We pop up to about 81, maybe 82, a little warm for this time of the year, but definitely it could be worse. And then as we go into Saturday, we're going to see temperatures into lower 80s once again. So it is a little bit on the warm side as we go through the next few days. Outside right now, 65 in Joplin, also in Pittsburgh. We'll look toward the weekend here in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Doug. Is it baby fever? Jasper County's birth rate, the number of live births per 1,000 people, is the highest in the state of Missouri. That's according to CDC data. KOAM Samantha Walker has the details on what could be some of the reasons.
12.58. That's what the CDC puts Jasper County's birth rate at. The number beats out both state and national averages. The only 2 states that beat out the county's birth rate are Texas and Utah.
For metropolitan areas like Jackson County or St. Louis County, that we stack a little bit higher than those counties, but our average age is also lower than those counties.
Lori Worthington with the Joplin Regional Alliance for Healthcare says one key reason for a higher birth rate is the average age of mothers. The county's overall population is younger, with the average age of mothers nearly 2.5 years less than the national average. She says age impacts fertility rates.
As we age, our fertility drops a little bit. So all of those factors combined make us a likely candidate to maybe have a slightly higher birth rate.
While Jasper County's birth rate is high, nationwide these numbers have dropped 10 to 15% in the past decade.
It's people working, it's people waiting later in life to have children. The list could go on and on about things it could be from.
That list also includes resources.
When they feel like they have the resources they need, that they can find affordable ways to live, and that they're able to feel like they're going to have a supportive solution and system for their kids and their family.
She says Jasper County and the Joplin area have so many great resources for new and expecting families, from community Facebook groups to Head Start programs, nonprofits like One Joplin, and even health department programs. This includes the WIC program, an income-based nutrition program operating in the county since 1975.
You start off with a healthy, nutritious food. It just gets the child set up from the start to succeed later in life.
He encourages anyone with eligibility questions to reach out. Reporting in Joplin, Samantha Walker, KWM News.
Next week, we'll have more on how birth rates can impact the workforce and why Jasper County's above average rate is sparking optimism about the community's future. One Joplin invited the community to celebrate a new story installation at Leonard Park Story Walk this morning. The event featured photos with the Southwest Missouri Bank's Moolah Moolah mascot and a children's book giveaway. The story, School is More Than a Building by Kelly Donner, reminds us school is more than just a place to learn. It's a community full of teachers, friends, and shared experiences.
One of our goals is to help promote literacy for families throughout our community, and this is one way that we hope to do this, is just throughout our community and parks, having story walks where families can come and enjoy nature and read a good story.
The story will remain in Leonard Park through November. Foster Adopt Connect celebrates 25 years across Kansas and Missouri. KOAM's Kenny Foreman was on hand for the festivities at the Joplin branch.
The Joplin Area Chamber of Commerce held a ribbon cutting at the Joplin branch of Foster Adopt Connect, which is celebrating a quarter-century of service. The organization strives to keep families together and prevent children from being taken in foster or adoptive care.
If we can help avoid a child being taken out of their home, away from either their biological parents or their biological families, grandparents or whomever, we want to do that because we believe the best place for a kiddo, no matter the trauma they've experienced or are experiencing, is with the biological family.
Many of the organization's specialists have been in foster care themselves.
To be the branch director here at Foster Adopt Connect is to support and enable the specialists that are here, that are in the trenches, the boots on the ground, servicing our kiddos and our parents to help them provide safe and secure environments to the kiddos and keep their family units together as a whole.
Foster Adopt Connect also operates Sammy's Window, a clothing and food pantry accessible to children in foster and adoptive care.
This is a boutique that's available to anyone who's ever been in foster care, even if it was just for a week and they're now 25 years old, or they're currently in foster care, children, foster parents. They don't even have to be clients of ours.
Seiden Stricker hopes he can inspire others to continue to fight for better lives at home.
I challenge anyone to argue with me that our society is not broken, and it starts at home. And if we can make our parents better and help our children not just survive the traumas they've experienced, but thrive beyond those, then hopefully our cities, states, and nation will get healthier.
In Joplin, Kenny Foreman, KOAM News.
Anyone in need of help can make a referral at fosteradopt.org. Well, coming up, a nightmare bacteria.
A new drug-resistant bacteria is causing concern among the health community. I'm Lauren Green in New York with the details coming up.
But up first, days after President Trump calls for prosecution, former FBI Director James Comey is indicted on 2 federal charges, including obstruction.
Sunday on.
Cases of nightmare bacteria are spiking in the U.S., and this strain appears to be resistant to most antibiotics. Fox News correspondent Lauren Green has more.
Officials in the U.S. are sounding the alarm over a new health threat, nightmare bacteria. Infection rates from the dangerous bacteria increased over 70% from 2019 to 2023, according to the CDC.
We're not even on the lookout for these infections early enough, so this is a wake-up call.
The new bacteria is extremely difficult to treat thanks to a gene called NDM, which makes it resistant to most antibiotics. So far, only 2 drugs are able to control it. And to make matters worse, they are expensive and must be administered through an IV.
This particular bug does concern me because the only 2 antibiotics we have for it, you have to use in the hospital.
Many health officials say the misuse of antibiotics contributes to the rise in drug-resistant bacteria. When a prescription is unfinished or unnecessary, the germs it doesn't kill can grow stronger.
Let's use artificial intelligence to develop new antibiotics to fight this bacteria.
What are the
and the
symptoms?
other thing, let's not overuse antibiotics in the hospital because that creates the drug resistance.
Infection rates are still low across the U.S., but it's likely many people are carriers, which could lead to community spread. In New York, Lauren Green, Fox News.
Well, Doug is next with a complete look at your forecast, and later, Pioneer Days.
From old-fashioned crafts to churning butter to the cabins on the lake. I'm Blake Gully. Coming up, we'll show you how one event is turning back the clock to the Pioneer Days.
Sunday on
for the arts.
It definitely turned out to be a great Thursday for us today. No complaints. We were dry after rain every single day somewhere in the region this week, but none today. We did have that very thick fog during the morning hours. For the month of September, about 3 inches, 33.5 for the year. Average is a little over 35. So we're still a little bit behind. That's why we have a minor drought across the region. Kansas and Oklahoma, you guys look pretty good. Then you get into a moderate drought. Pittsburgh, Joplin over toward Monette. Worse, Springfield, Branson. But it was good to get some rain. But we're not going to get any. It's going to be fairly dry as we go through about the next week or so. Nothing going on. Clear skies across the region. Let me walk you through time. We're going to start in the morning. Very comfortable. Again, patchy fog. Overnight lows right around 57-ish. By the noon hour, upper 70s, smidge warmer tomorrow, about 81, 82, maybe 83 degrees across the region. Heading into Friday night, we drop back even a little bit cooler. We dip down into the mid-50s, and then as we go into Saturday, smidge warmer, about 83, 84, maybe 85 degrees, but it's going to be dry. 59 to start, 77 by noon, high temp, 81 degrees. Let's go into four-state Friday night. High school football. Look at this. I mean, this is fantastic. 73 by kickoff, 66 by the fourth quarter. So for early fall, that right there is pretty good football weather. What about your weekend? 83 Saturday, 87 on Sunday. Some chilly starts, but great finishes. Actually, a smidge a little bit too warm. Great shot. Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex Tower Cam. We are looking downtown Joplin. And the reason we've been a little bit cooler is look at this. We got flow out of the north, meaning out of Canada. But if we look toward the west, there's not a whole bunch going on out here. And that's why we're going to stay pretty quiet as we go through the next several days. All right, let's jump to the tropics. We got something kind of interesting. We got one system that is going to develop and then push into western parts of Atlantic, but at the same time, we're going to have two tropical systems, one here and one right behind it. This one's going to go out to sea. This one should make some kind of landfall early next week, so we'll be watching that as well. If we go down the road, we don't have a lot going on here. We have a ridge of high pressure, meaning pretty calm. It keeps us warm as we go all the way through next week. We're going to go all the way to next Thursday. Some moisture trying to creep in, but I think we're mainly going to be dry. And then we get a bigger storm system that will start to press in as we get into next week. So at least chances to cool down just a little bit. But a lot to watch as we go through the next couple weeks. 81 tomorrow, 83 Saturday, 85 on Sunday. Let's go 84 on Monday.
Not bad. A little warmer than I'd like. I'd like it all in the 70s. Or like average fall temperatures, upper 78.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
Yeah. I pay attention. All right, thanks, Doug. Well, this weekend, history comes to life in Grove, Oklahoma. Pioneer Days is back at Harbor Village, offering 3 days of hands-on fun that takes visitors straight into the 1800s. KOAM's Blake Gully shows us what families can expect.
Walking through Harbor Village this weekend feels like stepping into a history book. Pioneer Days brings the past to life with old-time skills like butter churning and rope making, connecting visitors to the history of the 4 states.
We're a replica Pioneer Village, so we are everything from about 1750 to about 1929. And so everything that we have here, we'll talk about those eras, the frontiersmen, our forefathers, indigenous peoples, anyone in Northeast Oklahoma and the surrounding 3 states. We actually try to represent what their lives were like daily.
Everywhere you turn here at Pioneer Days, you see parts of history, including historical figures like Bass Reeves, one of the first Black U.S. deputy marshals. Here, one of the actors brings his story to life.
He had one of the most significant careers in that he worked for the court for 32 years. as a lawman. So he's one of the longest serving U.S. Deputy Marshals in the history of the Wild West.
I got roped into the fun trying my hand at lassoing with the beginner's rope.
You can start it from a standstill, just like this. You maintain that the handle is pointed down to the ground at all times. And I always tell kids it's like drawing a big circle with just your wrist. You start slow and you gradually speed up, and he's never tried it before. Look at that.
Organizers say each day is a different mix of demonstrations, so no two visits are exactly the same. Reporting in Grove, Oklahoma, Blake Gully, KOAM News.
From live reenactments to hands-on crafts, Pioneer Days offers activities for all ages. The event runs through Saturday at Harbor Village. For times and ticket details, just visit our website. Well, coming up next, the importance of responsible borrowing.
Gen Z is facing a harsh financial reality as credit scores plunge to record lows. I'm Kelly Saberi with Fox Business. Coming up, what this means for the younger generation.
TV.
A new report finds Gen Z's credit scores headed south, while a Wall Street Journal op-ed asked if the generation is unemployable. Fox Business correspondent Kelly Saberi has more.
A new report finding Gen Z is facing a harsh new financial reality. Their credit scores are plunging. The average FICO score of 676 is well below the national average of 715. Experts say pandemic spending, student loans, and poor money habits are all factors. Meanwhile, a new Wall Street Journal op-ed asks this question: is Gen Z unemployable? Hiring managers prize achievement, learning, and work. Today's youth value pleasure and individuality. It's written by Susie Welch, a professor at NYU's Stern School of Business, the widow of legendary business executive Jack Welch. In it, she details findings of her research, which she says, quote, agitated nearly everyone. One of her most startling findings, just 2% of Gen Z members hold the values that companies want most in new hires, namely achievement, learning, and an unbridled desire to work.
A lot of Gen Z grew up in a participation trophy culture where winning or achieving was diluted, and even if you lose, you still win, you still get a trophy. So that's a huge issue. But I have found over the course of the last year some incredible Gen Z hires.
Take a look at hiring managers' desired values for new employees. Number one is achievement, wanting accomplishments and success other people can see. That comes in 11th for Gen Z, with 61% saying they wish they had less of it in their lives. Number two, scope, desire for learning, action, and stimulation. That's 10th for Gen Z. Number three is work-centrism, the desire to work for work's sake. 9th for Gen Z, and only 2% of Gen Z respondents identified achievement, scope, and work-centrism in their top 5 values.
It takes so much work to onboard a young person who doesn't have experience with basic, email and Microsoft tools. We can get what they deliver with AI now. So I think there's a big risk to what's going to happen with these kids.
A recent national survey shows 65% of Gen Z believe a college degree alone won't protect them from AI disruption. 53% are seriously considering blue-collar or skilled trade work. In Chicago, Kelly Saberi, Fox Business.
Well, economists are seeing a troubling trend, Americans falling behind in saving for the future. A new survey from Bankrate finds 3 out of 5 American workers say they're not where they should be with their retirement savings. Of that group, 21% feel slightly behind, while 37% feel significantly behind compared to their retirement contributions last year. 36% say they're about the same this year, but nearly a quarter say they're not contributing at all and did not last year either. Bankrate says that's a call to action.
So what to do? First of all, for the youngest workers out there, by all means, begin to save, if you haven't already, to take advantage of a 401k match that your employer provides through a 401k employer-sponsored plan. Use those tax-advantaged accounts. The Uncle Sam essentially has set these up to help you save before taxes.
One way to get organized is to use simple retirement calculators you can find online, which will help you get a more concrete idea about how much you need to save. Well, coming up next, real-world learning for McDonald County culinary students. school culinary arts students get a taste of the real world today at Town and Country Supermarket. The students gave out samples of their homemade barbecue sauce while learning about safe serve practices. Their teacher says this is part of a project-based learning style.
The whole thing, they get participation points throughout the week on each step that we've gone through to get to this point. We've done some math, we've done writing, and there's been a lot of things that go into just making that recipe.
The students were given a choice of making different kinds of barbecue sauce, Memphis, St. Louis, or Texas style, and both groups picked Texas. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. A top Oklahoma school official steps down from his position to lead a conservative group. And an air tour flies into Parsons, Kansas with a focus on aviation education.
Big Bang Theory, tonight at 10.
Hyundai.com. You're watching the 4 states' most watched news.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. Former FBI Director James Comey is indicted. Comey was charged today in a 2-count indictment, which includes making a false statement 5 years ago while testifying before Congress. He's also charged with obstruction of a criminal proceeding. The indictments come days after President Trump seemed to urge Attorney General Pam Bondi to prosecute the former FBI director. The indictment makes Comey, who was fired months into Trump's first term, the first former senior government official to face prosecution in connection with the Russian interference investigation linked to the 2016 presidential election. Oklahoma's controversial top school official says he plans to resign from his position. Ryan Walters says he plans to instead lead a conservative educators group. Walters says the nonprofit Teacher Freedom Alliance will be focused on assisting educators in their mission to develop free, moral, and upright American citizens. During an interview last night on Fox News, Walters said, "We're going to destroy the teachers' unions." During his time in office, Walters mandated that public school teachers incorporate the Bible into lesson plans, suggested potential teachers take a woke test, and pushed for all Oklahoma high schools to have a Turning Point USA chapter. Oklahoma's Attorney General Ginter Drummond, a fellow Republican, weighed in on Walters' departure by saying, quote, "We have witnessed a stream of never-ending scandal and political drama. It's time for a state superintendent of public instruction who will actually focus on quality instruction in our public schools." The Kansas Air Tour makes its first stop in Parsons this week, bringing planes, pilots, and STEM education to local students. The tour dates back to 1928, but after an 80-year hiatus, it was relaunched in 2008. Since then, volunteer pilots have traveled across the state, introducing kids to aviation through hands-on activities and presentations. This year, more than 1,000 students have already taken part, including about 80 in Parsons. Organizers say the goal is to spark curiosity about aviation, a $20 billion industry in Kansas.
Really happy that Parsons decided to volunteer, and when you volunteer to be a stop, you're volunteering for a whole bunch of additional duties and opportunities, and a lot of the pilots had never landed at Parsons, and so this was a great opportunity to come in, take a look at the airport. There's been a lot of great activity at this airport, but then to have an opportunity to see what's going on in Parsons, to let the community come out, and then to meet all these great kids.
The lineup of planes ranged from a 1941 Ryan built in Parsons during World War II to modern experimental aircraft. Doug is next with a complete look at your forecast. And later, it's time for a fall lawn recovery. Experts reveal what your yard needs now.
Dear Savvy, who said Center for the Arts?
Well, it definitely turned out to be a nice Thursday for us today, and we get a chance to dry out just a bit after on and off showers and thunderstorms, some heavy throughout the week. We're sitting at about 3 inches for the month of September, which is overall pretty good, but 33.5 is where we are at for 2025 average. 35.2. So we are still a little bit behind, and that's why we have at least a moderate drought across parts of Missouri. A little bit worse once you get over Springfield and Branson, but a moderate drought southwest Missouri, and then it's dry And then our western half of the region really looking pretty good from Grand Lake to over toward Beaver Lake, Bentonville, everybody looking pretty good. All right, nothing going on outside, so we look calm tonight. We are going to see some patchy fog once again building in. Temperature is going to be dropping back to about 57, so a little bit cool to start. Let me take you through Friday. By noon, upper 70s. By the afternoon, most of us about 81 or 82. Plenty of sunshine. Really no complaints. As we continue into Friday night and Saturday morning, it looks pretty good again, even a smidge cooler. Down into the mid 50s. Saturday afternoon looks great. High temps 83, 84. It's a little warm, but overall still not bad. 57 to start, 77 by noon, high temp 81 on your Friday. Let's jump into Forest State Friday night high school football. 73 at kickoff, 66 by the fourth quarter. So really just about perfect weather across the region. All right, 83 on Saturday, 85 on Sunday. Yeah, chilly starts, but if you need to get outside, mow, do whatever, it looks great across the entire Forest State area. Great shot of our Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex. Looks good. Again, nice and calm. We have this northerly flow out of Canada as this upper level wave starts to exit toward the east. We get under a ridge of high pressure, and that's going to help our temperatures kind of warm back up. We are also watching the tropics because next week gets a little interesting. We actually have two systems really kind of going in the same direction. This guy's going to turn out to sea, but this one behind me, that one could produce a landfall into the Carolinas. So we'll watch that as we get into early next week. Back here at home, pretty calm. Let me show you why. Look at this big ridge. So the jet stream is starting to strengthen this time of the year, but look at this ridge up into Canada, kind of a blocking pattern. Nothing can really get in here, so it's pretty calm. Most of next week, it's warm, temperatures into the 80s, and then finally by next weekend, we'll start to get a little energy in here, and that will kick off our new cycling weather pattern that will last for the next year. 81 tomorrow. Let's go 83 on Saturday. 85 on Sunday, 84s Monday and Tuesday. Warm all the way through next week.
We like it to be a little bit cooler, but it's not bad.
Yeah.
We'll take it. Comfortable.
There you go.
All right, thanks, Doug. Well, cars collide and crowds cheer at tonight's Demolition Derby in Joplin. The second annual event, part of the Guilty Association by Truck Show, brings together families for an evening of high-impact entertainment. KOAM's Shannon Becker joins us with more on what you can expect throughout the weekend.
This three-day event, GBATS, the Guilty by Association Truck Show with Forest State Trucks, the Demolition Derby tonight. Then Friday, trucks who pre-registered still arriving. There are food vendors on the properties at noon and 5 on Friday. They have burnouts in the pit area. So see the schedule for the tractor pull, fireworks show, motocross stunt team, and more burnouts. The event wraps on Saturday with the world's largest convoy for Special Olympics. They'll circle the city of Joplin and then end on 26th Street with a huge light show and a free concert at Cunningham Park with country superstar Colin Ray. All the information is on our website at GBATS, the Guilty by Association Truck Show by Forest State Trucks. I'm Shannon Becker for KOAM News Now.
Well, tomorrow night's big truck and tractor pull starts at 7:30 p.m. Well, if you're looking for events right here in the 4 states but don't know where to turn, we've got you covered. This handy QR code will take you straight to the events page of our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Just scan it with your phone and you'll find information on all kinds of family fun events, including plenty of information on fall festivals and spooky haunted houses. The events page at KOAMnewsnow.com. Still ahead, Missouri Southern is looking to bounce back this week after losing their first game of the season on Saturday. We hear from the head coach, Atiba Bradley. And Pitt State's on a 2-game win streak, but has another tough test against Emporia State this weekend. Those details coming up in sports.
The Gorillas of Pitt State have found a rhythm with back-to-back come-from-behind wins at home, but they face a new challenge this week on the road against Emporia State. The Gorillas' defense has been key in each of the last 2 weeks, holding Grand Valley State and Fort Hays State to under 20 points while forcing multiple turnovers. But one thing PSU is looking to eliminate this week is missed tackles, especially against an offense that plays fast and ups the tempo.
We did a couple different things this week, and I think I definitely saw as the week went on just more of a sense of urgency from our guys, and just getting them to realize this week how important tackling, is going to be against an Emporia offense that makes you defend the whole field, sideline to sideline. Just a lot of one-on-one, opportunities out in space, and guys are going to have to tackle, at an elite level Saturday. They're going to move, and they're going to move with tempo, and the tempo and how they force you to defend sideline to sideline is what puts stress on the defense. So our guys are going to have to be really good at getting the call, communicating, and then identifying the formation.
We know we have to win first and second down, and as a D lineman, I can make an impact on that. So if I dominate my job first and make an impact on that first or second down play, then now third down is easy, and now we're slowing down their tempo.
The Gorillas look to make it 3 wins in a row on Saturday against the Hornets. Kickoff at 1 p.m. from Welch Stadium. The Missouri Southern Lions are coming off their first loss of the season, falling at home to Northwest Missouri State last week. The Lions are back in action on Saturday on the road against Central Missouri with hopes of a bounce-back win. Despite their 7-point loss to Northwest Missouri, head coach Atiba Bradley believes his team can compete with anybody. And don't get fooled by Central Missouri's losing record. This Mules team will be a tough matchup for MSSU. And on Saturday, the Lions will lean on their bend, but don't break defense to stop a UCM offense averaging 27 points per game.
We got to continue to build on what we did and try to minimize a few mistakes. But at the end of the day, Northwest Missouri made just a handful of reps better than we did, and they got the victory. There's a theme developing. We are a bend but don't break. We've since day one, we don't care if you get yards. We just don't want to give you points. And so we don't care if you drive 80 yards and then have a turnover. That's what we're after.
MSSU and UCM clash on Saturday at Walton Stadium to highlight the Mules family weekend. Kickoff set for 1 p.m. Webb City Volleyball has been tough to beat in recent weeks, winning 5 of their last 7 matches. Cardinals back in action in the Dome tonight to take on Republic for senior night. Webb City looking to bounce back from Tuesday's loss to Kickapoo. First set, Webb City with the lead off the Cardinals serve. The Tigers find Andy Wistrom on the outside, but Caitlin Maxwell says not today and sends it back for the point. Later in the set, the Webb City defense showing its strength once again. This time, Tigers going to Riley Vent, but her spike is denied by Savannah Crane, and the senior picks up the kill. Cardinals with set point. Crane's fellow senior Avery Gardner with the serve. She sneaks it inside the back line. Webb City takes the opening set, dominates on senior night with a straight sets win over Republic. Cardinals boys soccer team also in action tonight, hosting Springfield Central. First half free kick from Luis Puerto finds Zane Endicott, but his header is saved by a diving Ben Mackler. Later in the half, Central on the attack. Ethan Edwards with possession. He'll take a couple of touches and fire a net, but Tristan Smith makes a diving save of his own. Let's go ahead to that score. It went to PKs, but it is Webb City picking up the win, 1-0. A lot going on, but we're going to be back with more after this.
The grass may not always be greener on the other side, and coming out of summer, landscaping experts say there's plenty you can do now to help prevent your yard's health from falling this autumn. Fox News' Ted Linder reports.
After enduring a hot and dry summer, landscaping experts say many people's lawns could probably use some help recovering as we head deeper into fall.
This is always a time of year that we start to think about feeding, seeding, and eventually weeding in our lawns.
Folks with patchy yards from drought damage or pests may want to consider applying grass seed.
Go scratch those areas up, sprinkle some seed in there, remove any of the debris that might be there, but the big thing is seed soil contact. And then the other piece of that is to make sure that you're putting enough moisture so that that seed can germinate and establish.
Fertilizer may also provide a boost, with Professor Cale Bigelow of Purdue University recommending products that slowly release nutrients over time.
You want a little bit of quick release, but also some slow release so you can get sort of a quick pop of green color and some growth, but also something that's going to give you a bit of a longer feed there.
Meanwhile, with more leaves getting ready to drop, Tyler Carr, assistant professor at The Ohio State University, says the dead foliage can be a good natural fertilizer.
If you don't have too many leaves on the lawn and it won't create a mess by mulching them, mulch them. They'll get broken down and turn into fertilizer the next year.
But professionals say homeowners shouldn't wait too long to act, recommending people address their yard's problem areas by the end of October.
If you fertilize too late in the year, most of that fertilizer won't be taken up by the plant. It may be lost into streams or sidewalks and wasted.
Ted Lindner, Fox News.
Well, the red swimsuits return when Baywatch gets a reboot. That story and more coming up next in Hollywood Nation. An iconic clown and the reboot of a TV classic. Fox's Ashley Dvorkin has a look at this and more in today's Hollywood Nation.
What is that? Pennywise returns, Manilow says goodbye, and Baywatch rides a new wave in the Hollywood Nation. Fox is diving into a reboot of the 90s hit Baywatch. The network is reimagining the lifeguard drama 25 years after the original wrapped its 11-season run. The show, which famously starred David Hasselhoff and Pamela Anderson, will return with a new cast rocking the iconic red swimsuits when it premieres in the 2026-2027 season.
I'd do it all again.
Barry Manilow prepares to take his final curtain call. The music icon has announced his last performances in 9 U.S. cities, with stops including Orlando, Tampa, and Charleston. The Grammy, Tony, and Emmy winner also dropped a new single, Once Before I Go, ahead of the farewell dates. The concerts will feature Manilow performing his greatest hits, including Mandy, Looks Like We Made It, and Copacabana. His final bow starts in Sunrise, Florida, January 6th. Pennywise brings the terror back in today's First Looks. The trailer for the prequel series, It, Welcome to Derry, features Bill Skarsgård reprising his role as the demonic clown. Set in 1962, the story follows a family whose move to Derry, Maine, takes a dark turn as strange disappearances and supernatural forces emerge, uncovering the iconic monster's deadly origins. The show premieres on HBO Max October 26th.
Something bad's coming.
In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
And that's our time for tonight. Thank you for joining us. We're going to leave you with video of lemur siblings wrestling at the Oakland Zoo. Have a great night and an even better tomorrow.